Welcome to GoodTecher LeetCode tutorial. Today we are going to solve three-sum coding problem. So three-sum, give an array S of n integers. Are there elements A, B, C in S? So three elements in S such that A plus B plus C equal to 0. Find all unique triplets in the array which gives a sum of 0. So note here the solution set must not contain duplicate triplets. For example, given an array S that's a -1, 0, 1, 2, -1, -4. A solution set is an array of integers. So the two triplets, -1, 0, 1, second triplet, -1, -1, 2. So each of the triplets with three numbers add up together equal to 0. So three-sum is a follow-up question for two-sum. Two-sum, as we mentioned earlier in the previous tutorial, so two-sum is a very classical coding problem. It's widely seen, very popular, being asked during coding interviews. So like in the coding interviews, if you successfully solve a two-sum coding problem, the interviewer may come up with a three-sum coding problem to ask for you further evaluate your skills and computer science knowledge. So let's try to find the relationship with this two-sum and three-sum coding problem and come up with a solution for this three-sum coding problem. So here, let's have a example, like a simple example, -1, 0, 1, 2, -1, -4. Our goal is to find list all the possible triplets in this input array that with a sum to 0. So list all the possible combinations with the three numbers add up together to 0. So for this simple example, we can easily, from our observation, from our eyes, we can easily notice that triplets -1, 0, 1, -1, 2, -1. Those are two triplets with a sum to 0. So it's easy to notice even from eyes for simple example. So how can we come up with a general solution algorithm to work well for all possible input array? Like an input array with thousands or millions of numbers. Do we have a solution to work well for all the possible inputs? So here, a good approach we can think about this three-sum problem is that we should first think about, is there any relationship with the three-sum and two-sum? Since we already know that three-sum is our follow-up question for the two-sum, so we can think about, quickly review what is a two-sum. So two-sum is about there's an input array, also array of integers. We need to find the two numbers add up together to a given target. So there's a given target. We need to find two numbers in this array equal to the target. And one approach to solve the two-sum problem is first sort this array, and then have two index variable. I put at the first one, J put at the last element, and use them to check whether the nums I plus num C num J, how's the relationship with the target. Like if their sum is greater than target, because it's a sorted array, that means even the smallest number plus the bigger number is greater than the target. So that means it's too big. So that needs to move the J left forward. So like if the nums I plus nums J, so if they are smaller than the target, so need to move the I right forward, because even the smallest number plus the biggest number is still smaller than the target. That means even the biggest number plus a smaller number is smaller than target. We need to increase the I, so increase a smaller number. So if that's a nums I plus nums j equal to the target, we find the two numbers. So that's one approach to solve the two-sum coding problem. So what's the relationship with the three-sum and two-sum? So for three-sum, if we look at each of the triplets, actually we are going to find three numbers like num1, num2 plus num3. We are trying to find three numbers equal to the 0. So if we make some changes, modification of this equation, so that becomes nums2 plus num2, num1 plus num2 will equal to the num3. So this change makes the first two numbers. So we are trying to find two numbers equal to the negative of the third number. So this builds the relationship with three-sum and two-sum. So for two-sum, we are going to find two numbers equal to the target. For the three-sum, here we are still use a two number to find the target, but the target becomes a negative number, negative value of the third number. So here we see that we build the relationship with the three-sum and two-sum. So for the three-sum, actually when we're looking for each of the triplets, we can use the two-sum approach to find this to find the all the possible combination meet with this criteria, like the first two numbers add up together to the third number, negative value of the third number. So now we know that we can use the two-sum approach for the three-sum. So how can we integrate with the two-sum? So how can we integrate the two-sum to three-sum coding problem? So first step we can do is we can sort the input array. We can sort this input array because we know that for the two-sum, one solution we have is we use a sorted array. So first sorted array, sorted this into an array and make us feel better. So like sorted this array, like for this example, it will be like this: -4, -1, -1, 0, 1, 2. So that's a sorted array, and then we can do the iteration. So we iterate this sorted array. So whenever we have a for loop, I go to check with each number in this array. So whenever we visit one number in this array, and our first thing we need to do is going to declare a target. So target is just a negative value of the number we are checking, and then we use this target to put it into our a two-sum helper function. Use this target to check whether in the rest of an array, so besides this number, where the rest of array can find two numbers equal to the negative value of this number. So see, we successfully build the relationship, integrate the two-sum into this three-sum problem. So for rest of array, it's just like a start from I+1 index and to the n nums.length, the last elements in the array. So three-sum coding problem becomes a coding problems of a two-sum. So like a three-sum solution integrates a two-sum solution. So as a coding problem mentioned, there should not be duplicate triplet. So like whenever we visit one element, so if the next one has the same value, we can simply skip that. So this is one thing we should notice. And also, like if the input array is a empty array, or like is less than just a 2 number or 1 number, less than 3 numbers, they can't build up triplet. So in that case, we can just simply return an empty result list. So let's go back to the coding. So going back to coding to solve this coding problem, JSON coding problem. So first, we can declare our final results. So final result would be like an array of integers. So let's call it as a results. And then first, I have a edge case check. Like we mentioned, if an empty array or the size of the array is less than 3, in that case, we can return an empty result list. And then we can do the sorting. In Java, it's arrays.sort. So sort this input array of integers to sort it in ascending order. Then we can go check, like go into visiting each and number in this array. So condition here, the terminate condition here is the second last second number in this array. So we should know it because for the two sum we are compare two numbers. So if we reach to the second number, last second number in the array, we compare it with the last one. That's enough. So that's a terminate point for here. We don't need to be the last element in array. We can be the last second one in the array. So also we can check some duplicate first. So if I is like already is a greater than 0 and nums I is equal to the previous one we visiting. So we can simply skip this for loop to continue to jump to the next iteration. And then we can use first declare our target. So target, as we said, this is an important part. So the target is just a negative value of this number we are visiting, and then we have a left. So left, so we are going to use a two-sum helper, like a two-sum helper. We are going to check the rest of the array. So rest of our array, so start from I plus 1 position and end at the num star length minus 1. So you see here, the left from the I plus 1. That's why the termination for this is a num.length minus 2, because that also prevent the index of out of bounds of the index. Like here, we have a two-sum, like a two-sum helper function. The two-sum helper function, we can pass it with this first is this input array and our results. So results and our target and then the left and the right index. So and after that we can return the final results. So toSum is a helper function, the process we are going to build, a process to help us find out all the eligible triplets to equal to the sum of the 0. So like we can have a private function called toSum. Private function called toSum, or like a toSum helper. So first parameter we are going to have is a array of integers, and second one is a list integer of results, and integer type of a target, integer type of left, integer type of right. So inside this toSum helper, so we are going to add all the possible triplets with a sum to 0 to the final results. So while the left doesn't meet with the right, we are going to do if the nums left plus nums right is equal to the target. So that's best scenario, like we find the target. So this target, actually the two numbers add up together to the negative value of the third number. So in that case, we should put it into the final result. For final result, we can have like a triplet. Triplet is a new array list. So triplet dot add. So first, add the third one. Third one is a negative value of the target for inside here, and triplet dot add num left, and also triplet dot add nums right. So 3 numbers added to the triplet, and put this triplet into the result. Triplet. And then we are going to make the left right forward and right left forward. Also, we should consider the duplications scenario. So while left smaller than the right, and if the current left is equal to the nums left is equal to the previous num, we should keep increase the left index. Similarly, if the left doesn't meet with the right side, and nums right is equal to the previously right one. So right should make left forward. So this is a equal case. Also, we should consider like a else if, like for the when the two numbers add up together not equal to this third the target, like plus right left plus right is greater than the target. That means even the smallest one plus the biggest one is greater than the target. So we should decrease the right side. Or else if nums left plus nums right smaller than the target, in that case we need to increase the left side. Okay, this is a process for the two sum. So after finish this, we finish all the codes for this three sum. So before submitting, we can quickly check if there are some typos. So we declare a final result meet with this return type, array of integers, and first make some edge case checks. So if the null is null array and the length of array is smaller than 3, just return an empty result. And then we first sort this array of integers into ascending order. So we can then use like a two-sum helper. So we visit each of the element in the input array. So this is a duplicate, and we skip to next one. And we declare a target as a negative value of the number we are visiting, and use left and right to declare the range of the rest number of the array. So that's left I plus 1, right is the last element in the array, and use a two-sum helper. So we build up a two-sum helper with a parameter and array of integers, and the final results we are going to return, and the target value. Target value is just a negative value for the third number, and left and right. So while left is doesn't meet with the right side, so we check the first and the second number whether they equal to the negative value of the third number. So if they equal, so we build this triplet. Triplet add 3 numbers into the triplet and add the triplet to the results, and increase and go to the increase the left index and decrease the right index. So to remove the duplications, so we check if the left side the number is just same as the previous number. So we are going to keep increase the left index. Or similarly, if the right index next right number is just equal to the previous right number, we decrease right number, keep forward. Else if the first two numbers is greater than the target, so that means even the smallest number plus the bigger one is too big, so decrease the right one. Otherwise, is a smaller number and bigger number smaller than target, increase the smaller number. Okay, so some looks good, so we can click submit here. Okay, accepted. So very successfully we solve this coding problem. This is a correct solution, and we one time submit successfully solve this coding problem. So you see this three sum, it is a follow-up question for the two sum. Because there's some relationship, and we use a two sum approach to integrate with a three sum approach, and use a two sum algorithm to help us solve this three sum coding problem. And if you see like this coding problem, though, like here, have a helper function of two sum. So if you want to like calculate the time complexity for this coding problem, you should see here there's O log n, but the bottleneck for this coding problem is still this like a two nested loop. So like here, So for this two nested loop. So for this coding solution, this is still like a O(n) square time complexity. So that's one thing we can conclude from this code solution. So thank you for watching. So like you can during your free time just keep practice, like especially like the follow-up question for a popular two-sum coding problem like this three-sum. Keep practice, and you can see we can use the old logic to solve the new problem. So that's today's coding tutorial. So thank you for watching. Thank you for subscription to GoodTecher YouTube channel. So see you next time. Bye.